Hi, I'm Andrea, and firstly, thank you for visiting my platform. A little bit about me and my background and what drove me to build this platform really was when I was quite young, my parents split, and I lived at my grandparents for a while, and then I spent time between my parents, my grandparents, and other relatives. I loved singing and dancing and performing, and I was really outgoing young girl. But that changed when I was 5, and a relative started abusing me, which lasted for about 10 years. And I was persuaded really to stay silent through guilt and lies. And I just lived in constant shame and guilt and blame. My stepdad at the time was an alcoholic, and he had outbursts, which left my mum and me living in fear and more lies and more secrets, and never really knowing what each day was going to bring. I lived in constant anxiety at that time. I left home when in my early teens, and I became a mum at 19. And I think the enormity then of what I'd been through when I was so young hit me. And I knew I had to heal, and I knew that I didn't want that world for my child or for me any longer. So I tried to talk in therapies, which they really only deal with one thing. Let's sort that thing out that's happened to you, which really was not, which that wasn't what was wrong really. It was all the years of living in blame, living in shame, living with all the guilt, all the lies, all the secrets, the never knowing what's going to happen, and all that needed unraveling. So I started to work on myself, because really you learn what you are really until you learn not to be. So and you really have to feel worthy of healing. So that's where I started. I started on my self-worth, treating myself with self-compassion, acceptance, accepting what had happened, and awareness, being aware of why I felt, why I had certain thoughts, being aware of triggers. And you can find out more about that on my blogs and resources. And these are my foundations, and that's what I used to return to each time something in the future happened. And that allowed me really to heal. Those foundations allowed me to heal properly. Throughout my life, I've had some really tough experiences, a few of which are when I was about 24, a stranger attacked me at knife point. I had a stillborn baby, which we had to give birth to at home. My daughter had anorexia, and I myself have had cancer, which I had my womb and my ovaries and cervix removed, so I went into early menopause. But those foundations of your self-worth, treating yourself with self-compassion, has always helped me really survive through those times. And I'm sat here now at 55. I've had a really good career. I've travelled with my career through Europe and America. I've been married 27 years, and 2 years ago I decided to write my memoirs through Powerful Books, and it became a #1 bestseller in the abuse section on Amazon. At the same time, I started to create this platform to help others going through similar experiences as I'd been through. But I just felt work took over, and I didn't really have the time and the dedication to put into it. So in October last year, I quit work to focus fully on my purpose really of helping others. So I started to write some workbooks and some journals for healing, about the self-worth and the compassion and acceptance, like I was talking about earlier. And I've done some courses around that as well. And I'm starting a new project. I'm going to launch Survivor Stories, where it's turning pain into purpose. There's going to be a series of books all on various topics around abuse, control or loss, And anyway, you can find out more information on that on my website. There's a section on Survivor Stories Project. It will be published on Amazon, and all the proceeds from the sales of on Amazon will go to charity. So if you need any support, if you need any resources, there's lots of things on the website. Please have a good look round. There's support pages for everything that I've been through. There's also free resources, downloads. There's some on my shop. I've got some little short self-help guides. I've got workbooks, journals, and there's the courses as well. And if you want to get involved with the Survivor project, then please go to that page, register an interest in one of the topics. And yeah, look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.